Good morning, dear students. I, Mr. Prateek Hemrajani, will be teaching you mathematics online. And on behalf of the entire SJC family, I would like to congratulate each one of you for making up to this new upgraded class. Before we start with the very first chapter in this academic session, I would like to recap few points that are very important according to me and where children misunderstand those terms and make a lot of errors in maths. First one is sum, and sum means addition. But children, they get confused sum with multiplication. So don't get confused, sum means addition and the symbol for sum is plus. Second one is difference, D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-C-E. Difference basically means subtraction and the symbol is minus. Children basically get confused difference with division, and that's wrong. Difference basically means subtraction. The third term is product. That means multiplication. And the symbol is cross. Fourth term is quotient, which means division. And the symbol is this. Today we'll be learning about our very first chapter, integers. Integers are represented by capital I or capital Z. Now the question arises, what are integers? An integer is a whole number that can be positive, negative or zero. I said an integer is a number. So to know in detail about integers, let us start right from the very scratch. Let us start with numbers first. Number is a word or a symbol that indicates a quantity. And when we were small, we were taught 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. That was termed as counting numbers, right? But in mathematical term, the counting numbers are termed or known as natural numbers and are denoted by capital N. And they are all positive in nature, right? And when 0 is added to this natural number, we get whole numbers that are represented by capital W, right? There are counting numbers that are negative also. Here on the board we have got positive counting numbers along with 0, but in nature we have got negative counting numbers as well. So when we add negative counting numbers to this particular set, we'll get integers, right? So what we can conclude from this is an integer can be of three types. First, it can be a positive integer. Second, it can be a negative integer. And third, it can be neutral in nature. That is 0. Right? To understand more about them, we can take this example. Let natural numbers be represented by Milky Bar, whole numbers by chocolates, and integers by sweets. I have purposely taken this example because you all love chocolates. Now we all know mostly chocolates are brown in color, but Milky Bar is white in color. So it's a specialized kind of a chocolate that is specialized because of its color, right? So we can say all Milky Bar are chocolates, but all chocolates are not Milky Bar, right? In the same way, all natural numbers are whole numbers, but all whole numbers are not natural numbers, right? Now when we talk about chocolates, all chocolates are sweets, but all sweets are not chocolates. Like cake, pastry, toffees, they all come under the category sweets. But if they are brown in color, if you all love to share with others, then we term it as chocolate, right? So in the same way, all whole numbers are integers, but all integers are not whole numbers, right? And the very same way, all Milky Bar chocolates are sweets, but all sweets are not Milky Bar. In the same way, all natural numbers are integers, but all integers are not natural numbers. The next topic that we'll be covering is comparison. In comparison, we have got three cases: less than, greater than, and equal to. But most of the time, children get confused with these two signs. That which sign is what? So let me tell you one thing. You can recall their values by this example. Suppose if you put arrows in these, you can see one arrow is pointing towards right side and the other arrow is pointing towards my left side, right? Right and left side. Mostly we all are right-handed people. We work with our right hand, right? Mostly. So the arrow pointing towards right is greater than, because the right hand is more powerful as compared to the left hand in most of the cases. So this arrow will be pointing towards greater than, and this will be pointing towards lesser than. Greater than and lesser than, right? So this sign is for greater than and this sign is for lesser than. Comparison of whole numbers you have already studied in class 6. It is similar in this class as well, just the basic difference lies are the terms that I will be telling you just now, right? First difference will be, in this we have got signs also. So we have to keep one thing in mind, that positive integers will always be greater than negative integers. First thing that has to be kept in mind. Second thing, negative integers will always be less than 0. Third thing, positive integers will always be greater than 0. The fourth point, we will compare first integer with the second one always, right? We always compare first integer with the second one. For example, minus 57 and 89, right? This is a negative integer and this is a positive integer. As I said, negative integer is always less than the positive integer, right? So minus 57 will be less than 89, and we'll always compare the first number with the second one, right? Second, suppose we have got minus 31 and minus 31. So in this case, both are having the same sign and same numerical value. So we'll put equal to sign. In third case, suppose third example, 576 and minus 892. Numerically, if you will see 576 and 892, 576 is less. But if we compare the sign, these are integers, So we have to compare the signs also. This is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. The rule says a positive integer will always be greater than the negative integer. Right? Fourth one, suppose we have got 0 and minus 36. So as the rule says, negative integer is always less than 0. That means 0 is greater than minus 36. Fifth point, suppose we have got 0 and 176. So 0 will be less than 176. Because both are positive integers, then we will follow the rule of whole numbers that you have already studied in class 6. This was about comparison, right? When we are comparing two integers. Suppose we have got more than two integers, then we term it as ascending order or descending order. So next thing that we will be covering in the session is ascending order and descending order of integers. Right? Ascending order basically means when we put the integers from small to big, when we put them in order from small to big, then we term it as ascending order. In descending order, the opposite happens. We arrange the integers from big to small. We'll understand this with the help of one example. Arrange the following integers in ascending order and descending order. Minus 21, 31, 0, 6 and minus 91, suppose. We have taken 5 integers, right? In ascending order, I said we'll start from small to big. The smallest number among all will be -1, right? We have got neutral, that is 0, positive numbers, and we have got negative numbers. Obviously, the negatives are the smallest numbers. Now we have got two negatives, minus 21 and minus 91. In negative numbers, the opposite happens. Like if we remove the signs, that is 21 is here, 91 is here. So obviously 91 is bigger than 21. But in negative numbers, when we are comparing negative numbers, opposite happens. The bigger becomes smaller and the smaller becomes bigger. So we have to choose the smallest one. So which will be the smallest one, children? Minus 91. Then followed by minus 21. Then 0 will be there. Then we have got 6 and 31. So which is the smallest among 6 and 31? Obviously 6, then 31. Right? In between the numbers, you can put commas, or minus 91 is smaller than minus 21, which is smaller than 0, which is smaller than 6, which is smaller than 31. Any of the two ways you can use for writing ascending order, either with signs or with commas, but not both. Either you select commas or you select signs. Now suppose you have to write in descending order, that is from big to small. In that case, you will go for the biggest number. Biggest one automatically means positive number. So 31 is there and 6 is there. So obviously 31 is the biggest, followed by 6. Then comes 0. Then again the same thing, 91 and 21 is there. So the smaller will be bigger and the bigger will be smaller. So now minus 21 followed by minus 91. Same thing you can do in this. You can use sign also. 31 is greater than 6, which is greater than 0, which is greater than minus 21, which is greater than minus 91. I hope you have understood this topic. The next topic that we'll be covering is absolute value of an integer. Now the question arises, what is an absolute value? Absolute value is the numerical value of the integer regardless of its sign. It is represented as, suppose the integer is a. So it will be presented by putting the integer in between two straight lines. These are not brackets, I repeat. These are two straight lines. Most of the time children get confused and in exam they write like this. This is wrong. This is a square bracket, not modulus. And this is read as modulus of integer a. Modulus of integer a, or simply mod a. Either we can say modulus of a or we can say mod a. Now what does it mean? It simply means whatever the value, the numerical value a has, that will be written as it is without the two straight lines. Right? For example, suppose the integer is minus a and we have to calculate mod of minus a. What will be mod of minus a? I said the numerical value regardless of the sign. We will remove these two lines, we will remove the negative sign and only a will come. Now let us understand this absolute value with the help of few questions. Like suppose we need to calculate the modulus of following integers. Right? Suppose we take minus 51, right, inside mod. So the work of this mod is to give the numerical value of the integer inside it. The integer is 51 without its sign. So without its sign it will be 51. No straight lines, no negative sign. Suppose we have got the number 21. Only 21. There is no sign inside. So the work of this mod will be giving 21. Or in other words, we can say modulus always gives a positive answer or the positive numerical value that is inside it. Right? Whether a positive number is there, whether a negative number is there inside the modulus, we will always get a positive number outside. Right? Let us try to understand this with the help of these questions in detail. Like first one, suppose we take minus 100, mod of minus 100 plus 500, right? So mod of minus 100 will give us 100. In between these two mod we have got plus signs, we will put plus sign. Mod of 500 will give us 500. So the final answer will be 100 plus 500, 600. Second, suppose we take 50, mod of 50 minus 100, mod of minus 100 minus mod of 50. Right? This mod 50 will give us only 50 without sign, without the two lines. Then between these two mods we have got minus sign, we will put minus sign. This mod of minus 100 will give us answer as 100. Between these two mods we have got minus sign. This mod will return us 50 only. Now we have got one positive integer and two negative integers. So what we will be doing is 50 will remain as it is. Both the negative numbers will be added together and the sign of negative will be put. It will be minus 150. Now plus and minus we have got. One integer is plus and the other is minus. When we have integers that have got different signs, in that case what we do is we subtract the smaller integer from the bigger one. That is 50. 150 minus 50 will give us 100 and then we put the sign of the bigger integer. I repeat, when we have got two integers that are there the different signs, then we subtract the smaller integer from the bigger one and put the sign of the integer which is bigger. Right? So the answer of this question will be minus 100.